theoretically set aside a channel that's just for conversation. So talking about something, just one channel where if you need to talk to somebody, you swap to that channel. Is that something that y'all would be interested in having?
I don't see any reason why not. I would just make it something like 8, 9, or 10, something in that realm.
10
You
is
just like
doctors, right?
we just like 1.5.
Yes, 10 is,
people just take a second to just open the radio and put in a 0.5 after the 1.
Oh, if we're driving, it's going to be a
yeah.
struggle.
yeah. We'll
It's
have to figure out like something for that.
It's very rare that we have more than 3 active channels. So I
Yeah.
mean, even if I just said, could you meet me on 4? If we make 4 kind of the default, and I mean, it's not going to happen all the time, but if we can encourage people, you know, to get off main radio with the yapping.
I mean, what's stopping us from just like telling people to stop?
And nothing.
Is that
really?
Is that a problem? Because
I mean, yeah.
And same.
Like, I'll be
I
quite honest too. If it's, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, you know, I do it quite lighthearted. If I had someone do something similar to me today, and I basically told them, please stop, and they did, and they apologized. You know, I think if we just, I think we need to get into the habit, and I think Beric and Ruby, I hope you don't disagree with me here, that we need to get back into the realization that the radio belongs to dispatch, and that's our job.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're messing around and not doing it properly, then we tell them to get lost. And if they don't like it, then they can go complain to somebody, and I won't care about it. Because our job is to keep that radio clear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do think that a lot of that will have to come from like command and trickle down, and like basically retraining officers to remember that, hey, when someone 10-3s you, it's not, don't take offense at it. It's just you are imposing on radio traffic at that point, and you're being told to stop, so you stop.
Okay, another thing too. If people are having conversation on main frequency, for example, we could 10-3, but we could also just say RTO, radio traffic only. Like 10-3 and RTO, just to clarify what the reason is.
Mm-hmm.
Or for now, while retraining is happening, just say, hey, if you need to have a chat, channel 4's open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
give
some
people might not know
while
RTO.
we're retraining. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you could share. Maybe encouraging a bit of plain speak while we got some cadets and stuff coming through might be a good chat for those, you know, more out there tomes that some people might not know yet. Like RTO, for example, if it hasn't been used much, then
yeah.
I've never really used RTO, but it's something I've been wanting to start using because it is something that, like, you can give a reason for why RTO, radio traffic only.
Yeah. Okay. All right, it's great. Okay. I mean, Viv, have you got? I'm sorry, Ruby. Have you anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud, like you guys are, especially as we retrain people. Like if you guys decide central dispatch, whatever you want, you know, there needs to be a grace period, getting people to go to a different channel to chat, because there needs to be a little bit of retraining.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'd say for now, like, I'd say probably channel 6 we'll probably just use, maybe, because that's kind of out of the way. I don't see anybody using channel 6, so. Actually, no, we put raw XD on channel 6, didn't we?
Oh,
what a name.
I mean, to be fair, we can go on any channel.
Yeah.
Whichever one you want to give us the time. Like, yeah.
Because initially I put raw XD on channel 5, but then people always use channel 5 for academies.
I don't know. Yeah, I think we can. I think, like, at the end of the day, if you need a radio channel for like a priority situation, I don't care if someone's having a conversation about, you know, what they had for dinner last night. They've just got to deal with it, and they're gonna have a phone call or something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, I think, all right, yeah, we'll keep an eye on the, understand there's a grace period and stuff like that. So, we'll make sure that we're giving some breathing room while we grow things out a little bit. Okay. Viv, you got anything?
Well, okay. So, seeing as you guys are talking about obviously the name change to reflect that you're not, you're not just here for PD, you deal with other factions as well. Have you guys like had a meeting with EMS, things like that? I know they've gone through some major changes recently. Is there any way that EMS could utilize you guys better?
Currently, we haven't. At least I haven't talked to EMS. It's something I've been
No.
wanting to do.
Me too, yeah.
And to kind of get them to kind of have a say over dispatch because they haven't historically, and I
Mhm.
want them to have a say
Yeah.
over the operations of dispatch, have an input. That's something that needs to be worked out, and we haven't done yet.
Okay. That's the only thing that I would probably add to anything. I think you guys have been doing a great job because, I mean, it's been difficult. Obviously, getting numbers for PD has been hard, but then the same for dispatch. And it's you guys sort of taking everything on yourselves at the moment. But I do think you guys have been doing a great job, and you've definitely provided a lot of help, which was very noticeably lacking at the beginning because we didn't have dispatch. So I do appreciate.
I mean,
you
that Cornwood situation yesterday, the only reason
Ali, I think with the
people noticed he was missing
550s.
sexual disease, hey,
Thank you,
Cornwood is not on duty and there's an abandoned cars in Kudo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really good.
Like, I don't think anybody would have noticed.
Mm-hmm. No, we appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Viv.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, I think talking about EMS and stuff, I did, you know what, I don't want to bring things, but basically, if we get to a point where dispatch is grown enough and EMS want it, we could even have the possibility of giving EMS their own channel and having a dispatcher on that 24/7. It's obviously dependent on having enough dispatchers on duty, right? And that's also dependent on EMS wanting that. But that could be a possibility in the end if we had enough dispatchers around all the time, which could be cool. Okay. So that's what you guys kind of want from us. So then I guess it would be what we are kind of, because this is also a meeting between us three shift leads as well, and we're definitely going to appreciate any PD input here. So what do we want from dispatch? Like, what do we want to prioritize dispatch to be? Like, what do you want our focuses to be on, that kind of thing?
I'm sorry I'm interrupted, but I really need to go. I need to go lie down.
Yeah, go for it.
I feel better.
Go for it.
Feel better, Nadia.
What was the question again? Because I'm
basically what do we want? Like, what do we want to do? Like, what do we want dispatch to be? 6 months down the line, what do we want dispatch to look like, right?
I mean, ideally, a strong department that can stand on its own and that people respect and can trust.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just want to make a mature department that, that's pretty much it. Obviously, we need to do a lot to get to that point, but down the line, that's something that I want.
Okay.
I mean, listen, I very much wanted you three in those positions to begin with because I felt like, one, you'd have the most experience, two, you'd have the most heart in it to kind of push it forward. And I think you guys are going to have some great ideas, and we are open to hearing any feedback that you have, any changes you want to make. While I can't promise that they will be made, we will at least do our best to see your vision out.
Okay. Well, yeah, on that, I think, personally, I think in terms of like a priority for dispatch, like, I really want to put right at the top, kind of on a kind of an equal balance. Officer safety should be like a number one priority for us, even over like moving people to channels and stuff like that. Making sure officers are okay has got to be like number one job. But Jalen's example of Cornwood is a perfect example. And I think also 911 calls. I think from personal experience, being out there, 911 calls go unanswered, and you just lose trust from civilians in the PD, even though, for the most part, you guys, it's not your job to respond to 911 calls, right? So if we can get a priority on 911 calls, even over standard radio, I think that should be really a priority, because that's a direct contact with, basically it's a big red button that says we need help from PD, and dispatch will be the person who can see that, hear from them, get all the details, and get PD there. You know what I mean? That's part of that proactive dispatching that, Ruby, you were mentioning. We can get police to those calls as a priority. And from what I've heard, 911 calls seem to be a pretty big priority for PD as well, right? So I think that should be a priority for dispatch going forward as well.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Kind of a offshoot. This is more I guess activity wise. How is email chain gonna work? Because I know we were talking about it, Berk.
I'm going to be getting all of you access to like the main chain. I talked to the state about it, and instead of doing like a separate thing, you guys are just going to have access to everything that we have access to, essentially.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
And then maybe down the road, you'll have something like a separate channel, if you will. But for now, you're just going to have access to what we do.
Okay, and then for how do I want to word this? Activity. So right now we have 2 shift 1 dispatchers who are kind of, my wife is one of them. They're kind of not as active as, say, Nadia or I or Dark. But they still are here, and we're proposing
Part-timers?
in our, yes, mostly part-timers, right?
Okay.
We're proposing that we have a minimum in general of 12 hours a month for a dispatcher to be employed with dispatch, right? But right now we have no way to keep track of hours. How would you like us to proceed with that?
I mean, the reality is that we can't track hours either. So until the time arises where central dispatch is actually functioning, I don't think that's going to be possible.
Hobby.
So, but also, I
mean,
think we're not really in the position to complain about how much time people spend on duty and stuff.
Worst comes to worst, I can just add a little thing to dispatch tool and we can use that.
Yeah. No, it's just, if we're around all the time, we can always just eyeball it and reach out. Just 12 hours isn't a lot of time.
I don't think you should be too strict while you're growing your group.
I agree.
That's also how I feel, like even with cadets, like we need people at the moment, just like you need people, but we need good people. And if they can only give us 10 hours, I'll take it.
Hey, Ricky.
As long as they're good. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
The reason for the proposed 12 hours is historically, obviously dispatchers used as a stepping stone. So I'll use Bayweather as an example, because this is something she actually did. Years ago, she got hired to dispatch. She dispatched for like a month, got full dispatcher, and then she fucked off and applied for PD, and we didn't see her for a few months. Then she got hired to PD and started doing PD stuff. That's not something we want. And
no, I'm in complete agreement that
I think
it's not
we
gonna
all
happen
are.
anymore. Yeah.
Another thing, I don't know if Dark will agree with me on this. It's kind of my personal opinion. Right now, we're aware that being dispatch, and I'm guessing reception falls under that as well, blacklists you from PD.
I wouldn't really say that specifically. No,
Yeah, I agree with Barrack.
yeah.
It shouldn't blacklist you. That's a horrible
No.
word.
That's what it has been. I know Mackenzie Hayes, for example, she obviously she wanted PD, but she could not progress towards that goal while she was part of dispatch. So she
Okay,
quit.
well, right, in the most respectful way possible. It was people other than us that probably said that, and
I know.
that was their feelings, and we're telling you ours, and that it will not be that way. It
Right.
will not
but-
be blacklisted, but I do think if at any point anybody is taken from dispatch to being brought into the actual PD itself, it'll probably be people that are in positions like yourself.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
the mentality of joining dispatch should not be to join PD through dispatch. That's the key we want to get across. It's not that you're blacklisted, but this is a job, just like EMS is a job, just like Group 6 is a job. Just, these are all
Mhm.
jobs.
It's not
Mhm.
fair on you guys to, train somebody up, get them to a position where they can actually help you out, and then all of a sudden they're going for PD, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. On that note, I think it's a good point to build off. So historically, I think one of the reasons that dispatch struggled was because of the stepping stone thing, but it wasn't just because of that. It's because people didn't want to stay as a dispatcher, because I think Jodlin and I think Nadia have agreed with me when I've said this. Dispatching isn't always the most enjoyable job. So I think a personal priority, and I think probably all of us as a priority, the things that we're going to be moving towards and changing are going to be ways in which we can make dispatch more enjoyable. So I do have a few suggestions that might be very tricky to get, but I wanted to bring them up. And Beric, this is something that I mentioned to you, but I said I was going to pitch in a different way, and I'm still going to do that. But I figured if you guys are here, I think it's a good idea for you to get a rough idea of a few of the things that at least I'm thinking of when it comes to making dispatch a more desirable position, so that because if it's not a stepping stone anymore, then people might be like, well, I don't want to do that job. But then if we have more capability as a dispatcher and we expand the role, then people might see that and be more interested. And I think the way we can do that from a system standpoint, so through the computers and things like that, I think obviously the dash cams are massive, because to give you an example, if I dispatch a unit to a 911 call, let's say I take a 911 call of someone who's getting kidnapped at Senior Buns, I can dispatch cops to that scene. And, it's a very emotional call. There's a woman crying down the phone. She got a baby and kids at home. She's getting kidnapped. She's going to get murdered. I'm crying. She's crying. I get a unit over there. And then she hangs up because the police are there. And then what do I hear? I might hear a chase. Then I get them on a different channel. And then it's radio silence until, maybe the end if they get someone in custody. But when you've got a dash cam and that kind of thing, you can stay involved in the call that you helped get units to, right? You're not just dispatching and then not hearing anything from it. You're staying involved in that call throughout, and you can keep getting information. Like, dash cams are very important. Like, I've had traffic stops with wanted suspects where, they've got out of the vehicle and stuff, and we can, like Louise was saying in the meeting, so having visual aids for dispatch to keep them involved is a very good way to keep them, it's interactive, right? It's a good way to keep them involved. So dash cams was obviously the original thought here, and then we've got that. I was thinking, this is going to send a shiver down your spine, body cams, but not recorded, not used in any court of law. This is only for use for dispatch, for live footage only, for keeping officers safe, to making sure that dispatch are staying involved in the situation, and they can help give information on the radio if need be. Like, for example, if there's a cop chasing a suspect on their own, it's a very high profile situation with weapons involved. They might forget to do comms. They might forget to do foot pursuit comms, and they might get shot. But if we were watching on a body cam, we could see who shot them down, and we can give a description over the radio, for example. So I think that could be very useful for dispatchers to be a more desirable position.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's something I kind of briefly thought about a few weeks ago. I don't know if it was because we talked about it or if I just...
I don't think I mentioned it to you.
But, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I don't see any reason why not. The issue is just the same issue as everything else. And just...
yeah, I think I have no expectation.
Or not.
Right, exactly, yeah. These are all, these could be pipe dreams, you know what I mean? But I won't go into any more. I've got a few more ideas. I mean, the security cams is already kind of in the dispatch room as a listed item on our PCs. There's just nothing available right now. So I imagine that, that's another example I was going to bring up. Just security cams in public places like senior buns, the laundromat, that kind of thing, where crime is happening. We used to have it back in the day at stores and jewelry stores and that kind of thing. Dispatch you get on radio when a 1090 pops off, give a description of suspects, that kind of thing. Pretty simple, but keeps them involved, right? Makes it more desirable. Basically, for me, if I could get my way, I'd turn dispatch from the radio person to... Big Brother, Overwatch, keeping officers safe, but also keeping an eye on the streets and helping track down, keep an eye on criminals doing criminal things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously some of those might be pipe dreams because they're all system ideas, but we've got, I think we're going to have
I think that's pretty good.
We're going to have some plans about non-system ideas, so we're not limiting ourselves and waiting around for IT things to happen. So we're still trying to make the position enjoyable without those things being a possibility, right? Because we can't just rely on them. But Captain Toda told me before he retired that the 911 call system at a minimum should be coming soon. So I hope that's true. Because that'd be nice.
I guess like in the most reasonable way possible, when a lot of these things do come, it's all going to be at the same time.
Okay.
If you catch my drift on that, but
yeah,
as to when that will be,
big updates.
Couldn't tell you.
Good. All right. Okay. So yeah, I think we've got for the most part, we've got kind of what you guys want from us. Jane, have you got any questions for these guys? I'm trying to think if I've got any that we can let them loose.
Oh, okay. I see FT reports now. I just wanted to check if I could, but yeah, I can now. I can see FTO section.
Okay, so I guess to clarify, you've got no problem with us, it sounds weird for me to say this. You've got no problem with us dispatching units to calls if need be, right?
As long as it's like something violent or something like very high priority.
Yeah.
But if it's just like basic calls, like, like suspicious activity or something like that, no, just...
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to differentiate in a 911 whether there truly has been a stabbing or they're just being absolute nitwits.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's pretty...
I mean?
Yeah, I've been trying to... I think contacting them by phone rather than text is a lot better to figure that kind of stuff out. So, yeah, trying to just... It's a bit tricky, but like copying their number down and then calling them back, it's been pretty useful to try and gather that kind of information, and then again, if we actually have to send someone over there or not, But okay, that's good. And yeah, just clearing out the radio, that kind of thing. All right, I think we're good.
Quick, this is MDT related, actually. A while ago, I was talking, or like it was, I think when Hayes was still hired, we were talking to Slacks, and he said at some point we'd be able to edit staff page profiles. Is that something we'll get like be able to do at some point? Or is that not something that you wish us to be able to do?
I think we'd have to talk
Yeah.
about that with someone.
Copy.
Probably not. I mean, I could just make a what's it called? Like a dispatch lead role or something along those lines, and just give the three of you it, and you'll have the ability to do that. So that should be fine.
Dispatch isn't dispatching officer schools.
It's usually
It's more like
there's usually
telling
like
people to go to
one
calls, right?
day a week where I will
Versus
kind of sit
asking.
down away from everybody and deal with this kind of like back end stuff. That's usually like Thursday or Wednesday night. So that'll probably be when that happens.
All right.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you guys for your time. I think we got on the same page about things, which is good. So, I just remembered a question. So, just to clarify, Beric, for the interview process, we interview people, and then you have an interview with them. Is that right for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
You do an
I
interview or you
know-
back like a check on it? Or you didn't
Either I can be present when you interview, or I essentially just need to meet the person. I know it seems like a really shitty bottleneck, but it's just a necessity, unfortunately.
I understand.
Checks
No,
and
it's not a
balances.
him thing. God damn it, dude.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's everything. Well, thank you guys for your time. Yeah, I think we figured out that San Andreas, is it Central County? It was Central.
Central.
San Andreas Central Dispatch.
Central Dispatch. Okay, hell yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to work with you guys.
Yeah,
yeah.
likewise.
I just thought of something. Let's say a dispatcher tells people to 10-3 on the radio, and then an officer tries to tell that dispatcher to shut up and you know, I'm your boss. What's that? I'm not saying this is this has happened in
I-
the
Then,
past.
then we'll handle that because they're
Yeah, it's you take down the
they're
name and
not
you
your
alert
boss.
high command.
Okay, I guess I'll get clarification then. In terms of dispatch, when it goes up, who's above a dispatcher?
I would say probably just me and Ruby.
Okay, so in terms of if
I'd
an
say just
officer,
PD high command is above you guys in terms of like radio traffic. That's it.
okay, but when it comes to like, if listen, I get it. If a dispatcher is like out of line, I understand that's a different kettle of fish, right? But I think in general, okay, I just wanted to get clarification on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
problem.
absolutely.
And congrats on the promotions, you two.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right,
Thank you.
let's get out of here.
All right.
Yes.
You guys take care.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Hey, Dark, long time no see.
Hi, Jimbo. I can hear you
What are you
from
up to?
Hi, is that
everywhere.
Jimbo?
What does that mean?
Wait, who just shouted at you?
You saying I'm loud?
No, I heard you screaming on
Yes.
the megaphone earlier outside, I think.
That doesn't sound like something I would do.
No?
No, that sounds
Are
like
you
something I
fun?
would
Did
do.
you shave?
No,
Did you grow a mustache?
I've always had a mustache.
It might be Viv now that she's a sergeant.
You're looking fantastic, Jimbo. Really looking great,
I've been
mate.
told that I look old. Is that true?
Weathered, perhaps. Weathered. Like a fine
Well, she's
tree
Like a
in
thunderstorm?
in a lightning storm, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's good to see you. What you doing? You a cadet?
I'm a PPO, yeah.
Solo cadet, I see.
Yeah, have been for
Okay.
about 2 months now.
What's happening, man? When you get promoted?
I'm trying to see how long I could stay as a
would
PPO.
100% be a reference.
I don't think that's
She would
true.
even, like, fill in the
Yeah,
application.
I
I
swear
think
to
that's what
God.
you're saying to cover your own ass.
Put in an extra application
Okay, Dark. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Just to explain how good you are.
Truth hurts, man.
It
All right.
does hurt.
Okay, let's I feel like I missed some things, and I don't want to miss some things because I want to send Nadia some notes to wrap things
I
up.
mean, we can just we can throw it in the email chain as well for Nadia.
Yeah. I feel like if I miss anything, just add it on. But yeah, I think for the most part, is there anything you wanna? I think we should definitely the three of us should talk as well without, just get on the same page. I think we're mostly on the same page. I'll be honest. Yeah. I don't think there's anything.
I'm just gonna say it straight up. I'm gonna have such a hard time adjusting to proactive dispatching. I'm pretty sure me and Nadia are gonna be in the same boat because we're gonna have to both kind of retrain ourselves on that.
I mean, listen, if you need help, I can help you. Because that's kind of what I've done from the start. So it's not like a. But I don't want to, it's no way to. I don't want you to feel like, like being trained by the same person as, the same rank. I don't want to like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to feel like it's demeaning or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put you out. So
No, it's not.
if you want, like, we can do that. I don't know whether, I've never done it. I don't know whether I've done it in shift 2. So I might not be very good at proactive dispatch in shift 2. You know what I mean? I think the main thing when it comes to proactive stuff is knowing the officers, I'll be honest. Like, once you're
Oh, there
friendly
is an
with
announcement,
people.
by the way, for our dispatch now.
There is.
Yeah, there's an announcement for the dispatch leads.
Oh, so there is. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a lot about, like, I mean, like a very simple example is they got 3 or 4 units, like they got 3 units on a 1080 chase from HVAC, just swap them. You know what I mean? Like, that's a really simple example that I think this is the kind of thing that they just want with that. I think oftentimes when people are told to do something that just seems like the right thing to do, there's never a problem. If you're asking them to do something that they don't think is right, then they'll tell you, and then you can be like, okay, maybe I was wrong in that situation. Like, for example, let's look 5 years ago. Yeah, there was situations where a dispatcher might have made a mistake during a high profile call, and there was like a 78 call on channel 1, and they were like, okay, let's move this to channel 2. And I remember Snow being like, no, we're staying on 1. This is a very important call. We need to stay on 1. And that was fine. Like, it was a mistake.
So,
and
as far as like 70, like high pro, like those big calls, like 78s, 13 alphas, 13 or 14 alphas, right? I feel like those should stay on the frequency in which they originated until they're in a cleanup state.
I agree, 100%. Yeah, once it gets brought down from like 78 to probably like a 77, like you said, the cleanup state is the perfect way to put it. As soon as they're cleaning up, they can get a different channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm sure I probably made those mistakes in the past, but it's been so long ago, I don't remember.
Listen, I think we need to look at this as a clean slate. The police, I think from this day forth, the police are on a clean slate. They've got 2 new high command. We should do the same. You know, we should look at this as a brand new. Let's ignore the past 2-3 months. Let's just look at from today onwards. We're a brand new department, the San Andreas Central Dispatch, and we've got a clean slate to work with the PD, work with EMS to do what we want. And I think that's what we're going to look at.
Yeah.
It's an exciting opportunity. We've been given a hell of a lot of free reign by these guys, and I think we've got a lot of work to do. But I think, like you said, I think we can get a really strong department at the end of it.
What I want, I just want a strong department because, like, I want to see people come in and be happy, and come in and just do their job and have a fun time, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I miss because the old department, we had that. We had, especially in shift 2, we had people who would come on duty. We would shoot the shit, but we would also be doing our job, right?
I think that's a really important vibe that we should aim for, right?
Like, I hate using the word family, but I want dispatch to feel like a family.
Yeah. if I can give you advice, so when it comes, like when me and the chief were building LSPD, 5 years back,
Mhm.
oftentimes it's best to lay foundations, but don't set the goal. Like if you set up the goal, the ball's gonna miss and you're gonna get upset. But
Yeah.
if you just lay the foundations and you lay the foundations, the things that you want often happen on their own. But if you try and force them, that's when things might not go exactly the way as planned, but eventually they're gonna work out the right way. But if you set a goal, it's not going to go the way you want all the time, and we don't want to do that and get upset about it and be like, oh, things aren't going the right way. But I think as long as we set set the foundations and be like, okay, this is how we can, even something simple like, I'm trying to think, what's something simple? Simple. I mean, listen, I know I'm gonna say something controversial, but if we have let's say if we have like 2 or more dispatchers on duty, then I think we should use this room. And I know it's controversial, but what that would do was that would lay the foundation of people shooting the shit between calls, right? It's you've got a space that you can make your own. You can do what you want with it. And then, if you maybe you don't have to do it in this room. Like if people get bored of this room after a few hours, maybe take the group outside. But at least if you're all together doing it, you know what I mean? Like everyone just being
I'll
next
be
to each other.
honest. From my perspective, people are naturally going to gravitate towards this room when doing dispatch. If you have enough people on duty, people are naturally going to come to this room. I don't think having a requirement, like as you're saying, you're laying the foundation.
Yeah.
People are just going to do this on their own. They're going to come in here. They're going to dispatch. They're going to have a good time. If they want to go to the front desk, they'll go to the front desk. They'll go to the front desk and shoot the shit and help people, right?
That door would be so nice. It really would.
Whenever we get that door, we need to call it the Hayes door. Because Hayes came up with the idea.
Yeah. Having to run around all the time is so.
I know. I hate it so much.
Yeah. Okay. You brought up. Wait, who was it? No, it's Viv that brought up about EMS. I think that we really should talk to them. But who is running EMS? Because
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
We can talk to one of the EMS on duty, see who's running it.
That's a good
I
shout.
can call Jess real quick.
Yeah, who's running the show?
Hey Jess, I have a question for you, and it's EMS related. Who runs EMS? Oh, okay. Can you keep me up to date on who gets up, who leads it in the future? Because I want to know for dispatch reasons.
Do they not have a lead right now?
Okay. All right. Good to know. All right. Well, I'll call you in a week.
A week?
Yeah. Yeah, if you can do that, I appreciate that a lot. All right. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate you. Bye-bye. So EMS currently has no chief or deputy chief. They only have 4 captains. So Jess is going to send me the names of those 4 captains so we can talk to them in the meantime. By next week, they're doing elections over the next week. By next week, they should have a new chief and deputy chief.
Okay. I guess this Kiki's gone. It's a shame. Okay. Okay. So, what do you think? I wish Nadia was here. I hope she's feeling all right. So obviously I was talking about the system ideas stuff, but what do you think, like, the procedure or just vibe ideas that we could implement, to help make dispatch more of a desirable position right now?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I was thinking about the email chain.
No, you're okay. So we want to make dispatch more desirable and enjoyable. So what, obviously the IT stuff is out of our control. What can we do in the meantime that could help us, improve dispatch that we can control, right? I mean, obviously they've already done it a little bit with, letting dispatch basically, giving dispatch a bit more autonomy. They've done that in comparison to, prior PDs. I don't know.
So Nadia and I were proposing bonuses, like kind of as a little bit of an incentive. It's not the solution.
Okay. What would it be
But if you
based
look in
on? Just
report,
oh, sorry.
if you look in report 3628, this is like old report. Actually, no, it is updated. Not fully updated, but 3628. We were like, these are ideas that Nadia and I were coming up with and writing down. So if we go to ideas to propose, we have like charging people for dispatch application. I don't think we should do that, but the idea was to basically give bonuses for like promotions. Yes, says here potentially full dispatcher bonus for getting full through training and becoming a full dispatcher, and there's like a $5,000 bonus. I don't know how we would do that because financially we can't. I mean, we could do it out of our own pockets for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do that. Sure. I mean, we can do. Yeah.
I mean, we can also, to help reduce some of the costs, like the first batch of equipment we can pay for. So like, your radio, your watch, like we could cover that when you get hired on.
100%. Yeah. Tricky. I think it's a lot of it's going to come with people. Like, I think just having people around, if I'm honest, like Martha being around as like for Chastity in shift 3, like that's going to be a fantastic hire. Like Martha's fantastic. Obviously Ezra hopefully is getting hired for shift 3 dispatch. That's someone I
hope
can
to God he gets hired.
be with, you know what I mean?
He is the only person so far to answer one of my questions correctly.
Oh God.
On the interview sheet. It's how much wood if a would, and he said 10. And I didn't even have an answer at the time, but it makes sense because I said wood 10 times.
He counted that. How did he count that?
No, he didn't count it. He said 10. He didn't even realize. And I'm like, wait, hold up. That's the correct answer.
That's pretty impressive. I think I remember
He knew the
Ezra.
answer before I knew the answer. No, Ezra is great. And I hope we get Jeanette for shift 2 at the very least, because I think she would be great. I don't know if she's willing to train. I haven't asked her yet, but if she gets hired and she's willing to train, that's going to be a huge thing, because I kind of want her to train up Frodo.
Frodo?
And Frodo's going to be kind of Frodo. He's a diversity hire for shift 2, as in he's definitely going to be kind of SBS, but we're going to give him a shot.
Okay. Wait, so someone called Frodo, like from Lord of the Rings?
Frodo Docky. It's on the interview. It's on the interviews.
I didn't see that. I'll be honest. Okay, yeah. All right.
It's one of the names.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Wait, there was you guys hire, or was it like a Slacks hire?
That's an R hire. Like
Okay,
that's
yeah,
like
that's
a diversity
okay.
hire
Good.
from me and Nadia.
No,
As
that's
in,
good. I
we're
like
like,
that.
fuck it, we'll give him a shot.
I think one of the things we could do is once we get this is waiting for 911 stuff, but I think there should be I think receptionists should have because some people don't want to do what we do, which is like all the dispatching stuff, but they do like answering 911 calls.
Yeah.
So I think we should maybe give the opportunity for receptionists. You can get hired as a receptionist who can also be like a 911 call operator. So they can still
It's like
answer
operator training.
Sure. So it's almost like a sign off for receptionists, right?
Yeah.
So they can answer 911 calls and then they can come inform the dispatchers of what's happened, and then the dispatcher can get someone to the call. Because I think that could be something.
It could be. Here's my if we had receptionists do operator, I would want it to be like an optional certification where you get certified for operator as reception, right?
Like
and you don't have to, right? But it's
yeah,
it's something you can do if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's like but it's like basically it's something. I don't want to be a full dispatcher, but I do want to answer 911 calls. It's like okay, you can just be a receptionist who can get that certification, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that certification could also hold or carry over to dispatch. So we'd have 911 operator certification for dispatch as well.
I think my personal, but there should be a base thing. If a dispatcher,
okay.
I think a dispatcher like that should be honestly. I would propose that should be one of the first things we teach, especially if we're working with EMS, like especially with like medical stuff. Like we should definitely get some training from EMS for that kind of thing, because even I'm not very good at it, right? You know, if you told me how to inform someone over the phone about how to give CPR, I wouldn't be able to tell you how to do it.
Oh yeah, so you tell me to do CPR, I'm gonna fucking kill them somehow.
Right. I tried to tell a guy to check this guy's Duncan. It was Duncan. He had a car crash, right? And I called the guy up who called 911. I was like, listen, check his airway for breathing. And he said, okay, give him mouth to mouth. And the guy was just immediately trying to kiss Duncan on the mouth. So yeah, it was pretty bad. So basically, I think the first thing we should be teaching dispatchers is 911 stuff, because that's a really easy way. Because then what they can do is, let's say part of the training might be like ghosting, right? They can just listen to us do dispatch. But what they can do is, once they've learned how to take 911 calls, then they can just be a 911 operator for a bit while they ghost us and listen to us dispatch, right? And then they pick, it's almost like a ride along, but they get a bit of extra work to do. Mm-hmm. So I think that might be a good stepping stone for dispatch is 911 calls. If, oh God, please tell me the lines get connected, because if they don't, I'm going to cry.
What, the 911 operator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do. Just trying to copy out someone's number from a 911 call and then respond. Yeah, it's pretty... What would you think about? I know you've said that about delaying calls, but I think you said your opinion. You're worried that if something happens to us, that it's going to get real bad real quick, right?
Yeah. I don't think PD is going to necessarily like that if we delay calls.
Yeah.
And that's my main concern is. Obviously, like even bossing them around, I'm concerned that PD is not like some officers are not going to like that. Like I know obviously high command is approving of that, but I'm more concerned for the just the regular officers who think they're the hottest shit in the world and don't want to be told what to do. And the moment that like they cannot get like their notifications are delayed, then and we can tell them what to do, I feel like it's just gonna be a shitstorm. So I only want to go half on that. So we can tell them what to do, but they also see what like we see still.
No, I can agree with you on that. I can agree. It's just like it's the situations that I guess this might be solved. This might be solved with the call system, but like let's say
Yeah.
an anonymous call comes in about an assault like let's say there's a kidnapping happening down at Senior Buns, right? That'd be a pretty big call for me to call over the radio. But before I even get the chance to open me bloody gob, we've got cops here. I'm emerging at 911 call. This murder, and I'm like, okay, I didn't even tell you about it yet, but you know, do you know what I mean? It's just like that's a thing that I want dispatch to be able to do is see 911 call and get units to it and tell them what's happening.
Yeah.
But that might be a problem that's solved with the call system, right? Because then it's not coming through as a text. It'll be coming through a phone call instead, and there won't be a text message for people to see. Unless it's anonymous or
and
they do a text.
regarding PD jumping onto things really fast,
Mm-hmm.
this happened. There was like a 90 alpha at the laundromat, and I was literally on radio saying, dispatch or PD be advised, you have a 1090 alpha at the laundromat. And meanwhile, Selena Frost is literally talking over me saying, I'm en route.
I fucking hate that shit.
Slacks was on duty. He overheard that and he was not happy. So in that case, if PD are doing that, get the name. That's a training issue.
This is what I do and shit. I say, okay, if you just spoke over me, you know what? I didn't actually hear you responding, so you're not responding. And the only people responding are the people who waited until I finished my call out and then did I just get extra sassy on the radio and then
Honestly,
I tell them to do it one by one.
If someone does that, fucking be petty. Break them off the fucking call.
Exactly. You get real petty. You get real nice. You get one by one, please, children, on the radio, nice and slowly, and then I can mark you all up on the code. And then people realize,
Yeah.
oh, I don't actually have to shout. Who's this?
Hey, what's up? My name's Officer Decker.
Hello,
Hi,
Decker.
I just wanted to come in here and for no particular reason, come tell Dart congratulations.
For what?
I just heard you got really tiny feet and really tiny socks.
I had
But you know,
big
congratulations.
feet, man. Thank you,
missed-
Decker.
I missed.
I don't like that guy.
I'm. No,
Guy gets rid of
I don't know.
heebie. I don't know.
Why is he talking about your feet and your socks?
I don't know. He's a freak, man. He's looking at my feet. I'm gonna have to tell my husband about that guy.
You might need to, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think. You know what? I think enough meeting, especially with Natty not here. I want to do some dispatching. You staying around? Or is this it? Oh my god, it's not shift 2 yet. I didn't.
Yeah, I'll stay around for a little bit.
Okay. How many dash cams we got?
I don't know. Let's find out.
2.
2.
We told him at the meeting.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Right. Here's me watch. How much money do I have? I have $700. That's
Do you need,
four,
do you need
four
money?
dash camps. No, I just haven't picked up my paycheck today, so and I spent all my money on dash camps. Probably because there's only like 3 officers patrolling right now. Okay.
Oh, we only do. Okay.
Delta 88, 1041 tonight.
Delta 70, 1041 tonight.
Here we go. What the hell is Price doing? Oh, wait. Let me check. I'm doing a radio check on the map. On my map. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Radio check.
No, I can't hear you.
Son of a bitch.
Son
It was
of a
worth a
bitch.
shot. It was worth a shot.
It was.
Okay. Right. So who's got dash cam? Who doesn't? Maxwell does.
Frost
Frost.
and Haley.
Wait. Those guys are great. Wait, let's see. 159 dispatcher. I don't know any of these cops, I'll be honest.
I mean, this is like late shift 1 or almost shift 2, so I don't expect you to.
159 from dispatcher.
Go for 159.
What's your status? You Ocean King?
Ocean King, thank you.
Careful. Okay, oh god, he's coming on his own. After just getting out of the hospital. I think he is. Oh dear.
Okay. I'm going to quickly
100 from
Yeah, you
dispatcher.
Send it.
Just doing a quick welfare check. Are you Ocean King? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all good. Aziz and I are meeting with Jonathan Acker, a lawyer.
Copy that.
Thank you.
All right, I guess I'll mark Aziz. So how do you best do this? You just kick someone off the unit and then that unit just disappears?
So if you, what were you talking about
on dispatch? Like, so if I went to his unit right now and I just kicked him off and I marked him under 100, would the old unit just disappear?
It would. So if you have one unit on a unit card and you remove that unit, the next update to the unit listing will remove all empty cards. So for example, if I
Dispatch 129.
I'm not going to do this, but if I removed my unit card, which is at the top of the list,
okay,
or I removed myself from the unit card and I added myself under yours, my unit card would disappear the moment I added myself to you.
I see.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
So the issue comes on when you have to create a new new unit card. You need to assign somebody to that as soon as possible before it gets deleted by someone.
That makes sense.
Clocking on duty or something, because that happens a lot. Updates happen quite frequently. So you can see now 116 Sultan is unassigned, but whenever an update happens to this list, he'll be removed from, like, that card will be deleted.
Okay. I think it's pretty nice. I didn't realize it worked like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a garbage collector that works too good sometimes.
Yeah. 129 from dispatcher.
Go ahead.
Could you just come back to Mission Row and I'll check a dash cam in your vehicle?
Yes, no, I.
This is most of my day in shift 3, I'll be honest now.
What, just dash cam?
Yep. Just
So
get
you can do it,
everybody.
or do you want me to do it?
I'll give it to you and you could do it.
Okay.
Have you done one of these before, Decker?
You could probably teach me how, actually.
Okay, just get in your vehicle, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Put it on the dashboard and there's a use button on the top of the dash cam.
Okay, what do you want me to name it?
Just put in your call sign and then your name, and that's all I really care about, I'll be honest. Unless you're in a special car, which this doesn't look like a special car.
Okay, it's in.
Thank you very much, Jack. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Have a good shift.
Later, Jalen.
Right, who's
Layers.
that? Who's this? Hello, Wade.
Hello.
Afternoon.
Are you patrolling today? Good sir.
Wait, do I need to put a new dash cam in?
Yes, every storm.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
every storm. Yeah, here you go, mate.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's expensive real quick.
shift 1 is over very soon, so you probably just get to Anita. I'll be out. I don't think I'll be here.
Oh, you don't stay around now?
No.
Well, Anita, you gonna stay in this car?
It is my car, yeah.
Yeah, okay, just put Anita's name and stuff in Wade, and that'll do.
Yeah.
Because then, as long as you don't park it, just please don't park it. Please go on it.
Oh, I was right about to park it. Oh shit, let me not do that.
Wade, don't you dare. Oh my god. Why does Jalen sound like Peter from Family Guy? You okay?
I am perfectly sane. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
815 from
I'm not
120
crazy. Crazy.
Send it.
I was crazy once. They locked
You
me in
just
a room.
deleted your old
A rubber
report, by the
room.
way.
A rubber room with rats, and the rats made me crazy. Crazy.
129 should have
I
been
was
rat that
crazy
latest
once.
911 at the tow
They
yard.
locked me in a room.